And he led me out to the gate that beheld to the east way. And lo, the glory of God of Israel entered by the east way, and a voice was to it, as the voice of many waters, and the earth shined of the majesty of him. And I saw a vision by the likeness which I had seen when he came to destroy the city, and the likeness was like the beholding which I had seen beside the flood Chebar, and I fell down on my face. And the majesty of the Lord entered into the temple by the way of the gate that beheld to the east, and the Spirit raised me and led me into the inner foreyard, and lo, the house of the Lord was filled with the glory of the Lord. And I heard one speaking to me out of the house, and the man that stood beside me said to me, Thou, son of man, this is the place of my seat, and the place of the steps of my feet, where I dwell in the midst of the sons of Israel without end. And the house of Israel shall no more defile mine holy name, they and the kings of them, in their fornications, and in the fallings of their kings, and in their high places, which made their threshold beside my threshold, and their posts beside my posts, and a wall was betwixt me and them. And they defiled mine holy name in abominations which they did, wherefore I wasted them in my wrath. Now therefore put they away far their fornication, and the fallings of their kings from me, and I shall dwell ever in the midst of them. But thou, son of man, show the temple to the house of Israel, and be they ashamed of their wickednesses, and meet they the building, and be they ashamed of all things which they did. Thou shalt show to them, and thou shalt write before the eyes of them the figure of the house, and of the building thereof, the outgoings and the enterings, and all the describings thereof, and all the commandments thereof, and all the order thereof, and all the laws thereof, that they keep all the describings thereof, and the commandments thereof, and do those. This is the law of the house, in the highness of the hill. All the coast thereof encompasses the holy of holy things. Therefore this is the law of the house. Forsooth, these be the measures of the altar, in a various cubit, that had a cubit and a span. In the bosom thereof was a cubit in length, and a cubit in breadth, and the end thereof till to the brink, and one span in compass. Also this was the ditch of the altar. And from the bosom of the earth till to the last height were 2 cubits, and the breadth of 1 cubit. And from the less height of the pedestal till to the greater height of the pedestal were 4 cubits, and the breadth was of 1 cubit. Forsooth that aerial, that is, the higher part of the altar, was of 4 cubits, and from the altar till to above were 4 horns. And the altar of 12 cubits in length was 4-cornered with even sides, by 12 cubits of breadth, and the height of 14 cubits of length was by 14 cubits of breadth, in 4 corners thereof. And a crown of half a cubit was in the compass thereof, and the bosom thereof was of 1 cubit by compass. Forsooth the degrees thereof were turned to the east. And he said to me, Thou son of man, the Lord God saith these things. These be the customs of the altar, in whatever day it is made, that men offer on it burnt sacrifice, and blood be shut out. And thou shalt give to priests and deacons that be of the seed of Zadok, that nigh to me, saith the Lord God, that they offer me a calf of the drove for sin. Thou shalt take of the blood thereof, and shalt put on horns thereof, and on 4 corners of height, and on the crown and compass. And thou shalt cleanse it, and make clean. Thou shalt take the calf which is offered for sin, and thou shalt burn it in a separated place of the house without the sanctuary. And in the 2nd day thou shalt offer a buck of goats, which is without wem, for sin. And they shall cleanse the altar, as they cleansed it in the calf. When thou hast filled that cleansing, thou shalt offer a calf of the drove, which calf is without wem, and a wether without wem of the flock. Thou shalt offer those in the sight of the Lord, and priests shall put salt on those, and shall offer those into burnt sacrifice to the Lord. By 7 days thou shalt make ready a buck of goats for sin each day. And they shall offer a calf of the drove, and a wether unwemmed of sheep. By 7 days shall cleanse the altar, and shall make it clean. They shall fill the hand thereof. Forsooth, when 7 days be filled, in the 8th day and further, priests shall make on the altar your burnt sacrifices, those things which they offer for peace, and I shall be pleased to you, saith the Lord God.